All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to week 10 of the Lowdown. Last week's record was 9-5, bringing the overall record to 91-28. The upsets of the week crashed and burned. 0-2, dropping the yearly record to 6-8. Wanted to just say this: college football rankings came out this week. I don't care. It doesn't matter. There's still a lot of football left to be played. I think ever since this college football playoff rankings came out, that seems like all people focus on when there's more to focus on than that. I mean, it'll all play itself out the way it should. Two huge games in the SEC. You got Tennessee at Georgia. Alabama goes to Baton Rouge at night. Huge implications in those games nationwide. And like I said, there's a lot to be determined, but I'm not so sure if Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama aren't three of the best four teams in the country. I mean, heck, you could even have all SEC playoff, and it'd probably be pretty good. So, with that being said, let's move on. Friday night game, Oregon State at Washington. Chance Nolan is out for Oregon State. Ben Gulbranson has come in and done a good job, led the Beavers to 3 straight wins. Washington has no defense. Michael Penix Jr. is a good player at quarterback there for them. Washington can score points. But I like Oregon State in this game to go in there and get an upset win. I'll say Oregon State high scoring 35, Washington 32. Ohio State at Northwestern, early Saturday game. Defensive end JT Tuimoloau last week, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a touchdown. I'd say that's quite a day. Was a little shocked how Ohio State's defense played. I thought Penn State moved the ball on them pretty good. But with that said, Ohio State's offense is just high powered. CJ Stroud there at quarterback, 2 good tailbacks. And you know, when you get into a game like that with an Ohio State, when we get down the road here, like a Tennessee, Georgia, like an Alabama, LSU, penalties and mistakes and turnovers are going to come into play. I mean, so whoever can make the least amount of mistakes is probably going to win these games, because there's a lot of teams that are pretty neck and neck as far as talent goes, or a couple of teams anyway at the top. Another 11 o'clock game, Texas Tech at TCU. Quentin Johnson for TCU, the wide receiver, he's an animal. I mean, he is just an absolute animal. Max Duggan's having a big year there for TCU throwing the football. Sonny Dykes might be a name to keep an eye out for in some of these college coaching searches, because everywhere he goes, he wins, and they score points. So scoring points is what you got to have in college football nowadays. It is what it is. You have to score the football. That said, I like TCU pretty big over Texas Tech. Texas Tech at times played good this year. At times they've not. So I like TCU 38, Texas Tech 27. 11 o'clock game, North Carolina at Virginia. North Carolina has been scoring points. I mean, there's no doubt about they've been scoring points at a big clip. But keep an eye on Virginia here, though. Brennan Armstrong's a talented kid. He's going to be back this year. I mean, back this week to play. So Drake May's one of the nation's top passers at quarterback there for North Carolina. I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. I think Virginia, though, keeps this tight with Armstrong back. So I'll go North Carolina 37, Virginia 30. Tennessee at Georgia. All right. One thing that I don't think people are talking enough about is we talk about how to stop Tennessee on offense. Now, they do a lot of things well. They always got guys moving. They spread you out and make you play the whole field. But I think if you can take out Tennessee's run game and make Hooker beat you in the pocket, I think you got a shot doing that. And Georgia's got the personnel to do that potentially. Now, Nolan Smith being out at linebacker, that's a big blow. The guy does a lot for them on defense. He's their emotional leader. He's their play caller. So that's a big loss. But I think if Georgia with Jalen Carter and those guys, if they can stop Tennessee's run or limit it and get Tennessee behind the chains and then use their stunts and their blitz packages to kind of hit Hooker in the pocket and bottle him up in that pocket, I think they got a shot because Georgia should be able to score points on Tennessee's defense. The big thing here to me, though, is Cedric Tillman coming back for Tennessee with Brew McCoy and Hyatt. That just gives them 3 NFL caliber receivers. And like a couple of years ago with LSU, with Joe Burrow and all those guys, with Tua and Bama and all them guys, I mean, if you got 3 or 4 NFL type receivers, it's just there's not many college teams that have that many defensive backs to cover all those guys. So just keep an eye on that. I mean, and keep an eye on stopping Tennessee's run game. Let's see what happens if a team can do that. I think it could affect them because they're so well balanced. They do what the defense gives you, and that's what they do because they can run and pass. So, but prediction, I'm gonna go Tennessee 45, Georgia 42. I might be I'm probably crazy picking against Georgia and Athens, but I mean, I until somebody can stop this Tennessee offense, I'm gonna roll with them. So 45-42 Tennessee. Oregon at Colorado. Bo Nix is playing just about as good as any player in the country right now, passing the ball, running the ball. That Kenny Dillingham has that Oregon offense clicking at a high pace and high rate of success. So I'm gonna go Oregon 48, Colorado 13. Penn State at Indiana. Penn State, sometimes they look great, sometimes they don't. I mean, and they were in that game last week and just turnovers just knocked them out of it, and they lost ground quickly in that one. So, but I'm gonna go Penn State. I think this could be a tight game. Big line here. Indiana should be up for this game. I'm gonna go Penn State 30, Indiana 24. Michigan State at Illinois. Illinois, Chase Brown, that running back, top backs in the country. He's going to be probably a first-round pick in the NFL. Brett Bielema has done a heck of a job there. I'm going to go Illinois 30, Michigan State 10. Oklahoma State at Kansas. This is one of my Kansas. Jalen Daniels is back there at quarterback. They're a different team with him at quarterback. Oklahoma State's been a little beat up in the receiving corps. Jaden Bray and Braden Johnson were out last game. And last game, too, Oklahoma State just got boat raced by Kansas State. And that was the Kansas State. I picked them a couple of times this year, and they've lost. But that was the Kansas State that I thought I had seen. I mean, they're a pretty good outfit when they're operating the way they're supposed to. Now, with Daniels back, the quarterback for Kansas, I'm going to go Kansas. High-scoring game, 48, Oklahoma State, 44. UCF at Memphis. UCF knocked off Cincinnati for the first time in a while last week. When they're clicking on offense under Gus Malzahn and John Rose Plumlee, they're good because Travis Williams is doing a heck of a job there calling plays for their defense. And Travis is a guy that I've known for a little while. When he was at Auburn, I always talked to him. He was always a pleasant guy to talk to and very passionate football coach, and his players play hard for him. So I like UCF to go into Memphis and get a big win. I'm going to go UCF 38, Memphis 34. Night game, Alabama at LSU. Look, I think LSU's a good team, and they're improving, no doubt. And Jaden Daniels is what makes that team go. I don't know. I'm not sold on LSU's defense. I think B.J. Ojulari is one of the best players in the country. He's a guy that can create a lot of havoc, and he's a guy that makes plays in big games. I think Alabama will need to know where he is at all times on defense. I think Neighbors and Butte can do some damage. It's Bama's secondary for sure. But I don't know if LSU is going to be able to hold off Alabama's pass rushers all game in this game. And to me, that's why I'm going to give the edge to Alabama. I think Bryce Young and Alabama's offense is going to be able to move the ball at LSU. And Alabama's done a couple things defensively over the last couple of weeks that I've liked. So I'm going to go Alabama going into Baton Rouge and getting a big win. I'm going to say Alabama. I think this is going to be a pretty high scoring game. Alabama 42, LSU 34. Texas at Kansas State. Texas is favored in this game. I don't know why. They have not played good on the road this year. Quinn Ewers is back there at quarterback for Texas. And, of course, Bijan Robinson is one of the better running backs in the country. But Kansas State, last week, they showed what they can do when they're playing well. So I'm going to go Adrian Martinez and Deuce Vaughn, those guys, to upset Texas. I'm going to go Kansas State, another high-scoring game. 34, Texas 30. Clemson at Notre Dame. Everybody's talking how Clemson's, they're not really impressed with Clemson. I mean, all they've done is win, though. I mean, and I think this is going to be a tricky spot for them here. Notre Dame has won 4 of their last 5 games. Quarterback Drew Pine he's been playing okay, but Notre Dame's running back game has been doing really well lately with Aldrick Estime. So I don't know. Something's telling me this is going to be a good ball game. As Notre Dame at night, they're an underdog. Nobody's really talking about them. Clemson I don't know. They're just, for whatever reason, they're just not that impressive, but they keep winning. I think Clemson gets a win here, but I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go Clemson 30, Notre Dame 27. Michigan at Rutgers, 6:30 game. Rutgers isn't a bad team. Look, everybody keeps talking too like Ohio State's automatically in. They're going to have to beat Michigan. Michigan's a good team. I mean, they got a great offensive line. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Their defense, I don't know how good their defense is, but they can rush the passer. So that's a good thing for Michigan as being a team that could potentially get in the playoff and win it. I mean, you got to be able to sack the quarterback. That said, I like Michigan big here. I think J.J. McCarthy has a big day. But, I mean, I think this Rutgers defense is pretty good. So I think this will be kind of a methodical win for Michigan. I'm going to go Michigan 34, Rutgers 10. Arizona at Utah. Utah seems to be playing, pretty good football right now. Cam Rising. I think this is going to be a big blowout win for Utah right here. I'll go Utah 42, Arizona 17. California at USC. USC barely lost that one to Utah right now, or they could be easily undefeated. I still think they do have a shot at maybe potentially getting in the playoff if things break right for them. Look for Caleb Williams to have a big game in this against California's defense. Travis Dye have a big game too. Jordan Addison. USC rolls 48-20. Then UCLA at Arizona State wrapping up the top 25 games. Dorian Thompson-Robinson there for UCLA. Look for him to have a big game against Arizona State. Zach Charbonnet. So I like UCLA to go in there. Arizona State, though, they've been playing better since they fired Herm Edwards. So this could be a little bit – this could be a sneaky game. But, I mean, I think UCLA goes in there and gets it done. I'm going to say UCLA 38, Arizona 27. Actually, UCLA 42, Arizona State 27. All right, guys. Well, good luck to your team this week. And after Saturday, we'll probably know who the heroes are and who the pretenders are. Because this is going to separate some of the men from the boys this weekend. All right, guys. Well, y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all next week.